Welcome to the lecture 3 of this series. We have been discussing states of matter, chapter 1 of IGS-CSC syllabus of chemistry. This video is the second part of changes in states of matter. In this video, we will discuss the heating and cooling curves with respect to kinetic particle theory. Today, we will discuss all these basic terms which we have discussed in the previous lecture with respect to the kinetic particle theory, how the particle arrangement is changed and being affected by temperature. So let's start. So here we will discuss a heating curve. The heating curve basically the curve which will discuss the change of solid state into liquid and thus into gas while providing temperature or heat. When we provide heat to solid, it converts into a liquid. When we provide more heat to liquid, it will convert into a gas. So basically, this is termed as heating curve. Okay. So let us have an example. First of all, we will discuss the example of water. This is the graph we will discuss today. Here we will take temperature in Celsius. And here we will take time. This is very rough diagram, like we won't put the exact time here. We will discuss the arrangement of particles, how their arrangement are changed from moving from the solid state to the gaseous state with respect to temperature. First of all, get some specific points. This is 100 Celsius. This is 50 Celsius. This is 0 Celsius. And this is minus 50 Celsius. So for ice, at this temperature, at this specific temperature, the water is present in solid form. Here, the arrangement of particle is in that way. The particles are very close to each other. They have their fixed position with no movement. As the temperature is being increased from 50 Celsius to 0 Celsius, at this temperature, these particles will have some movement, will have some changes, not very clear, but they are start showing some changes. So if the temperature will persist at 0 Celsius for some time, they will start converting into liquid slowly, not completely, but slowly. So after some time, when the temperature is increased again, these molecules will have this type of arrangement. So while at all these through the way, while we move from 0 Celsius to 100 Celsius, they will start moving away from each other and have some more vigorous movement of particles. Okay, so now we will discuss the main points where the changes occur. At minus 50 Celsius, the water is present in solid form, that is ice. Here, the arrangement of particle is fixed. They have no movement and they are present in ordered arrangement. While the temperatures start decreasing, at 0 Celsius, they start changing their movement or their state as the particles start absorbing energy that is being provided from outside. At all the way, there is no change because the molecules or the particles of liquid persist their own state. The outside temperature is not enough for these particles to have any specific change. So at 0 Celsius, when enough amount of energy is being provided to these particles, they show some changes. So these particles start moving while in this state they are present without movement. At this point, they are start moving somehow, like they start vibration, and they have some disordered arrangement. This is the point which we call melting point. At this temperature, the solid start converting into liquid form. As they show some vibration, as they show disordered arrangement. So this is the point where a solid start converting into a liquid form. While we continuously provide them with temperature, as this graph shows that the temperature is being increased continuously with the passage of time. So slowly the temperature is being increased, and all the way this solid is converted into a complete liquid form, that is water. So in all the way, this water is being converting into. So at all these temperature increase, the water molecules that are present in liquid form again getting energy from outside. At this specific position, why we show this graph at this horizontal form instead of vertical form? Because this shows that at the same temperature, at the 0 Celsius temperature, with some time, all the solid is converted into a liquid form, that is water. So while we achieve the water state, the liquid state of water, again there is a rise in temperature, and with this rise of temperature, these water particles again absorbing heat, or again absorbing thermal energy, and there are some more obvious changes in the position and in the movement of particles. The particles, while in their fixed position, um, show the particles in disordered form and with some vibratory movements, and hence at the end they are being shown as they are very distant from each other and have some more vigorous movements, and at the end there are no specific forces of attraction ultimately. So at this temperature, that is 100 Celsius, this is the specific point where all the water molecules are converted into steam. This is called boiling point, and the boiling point of water is 100 Celsius. So at this temperature, the water starts boiling, the water starts converting into gases, and the at this all this time where this graph is shown horizontally, the whole water, the liquid state is converted into gaseous form. Here occurs the boiling point, here occurs the melting point. So where is the evaporation? At all these time, evaporation occurs. At low temperatures, there is low rate of evaporation, while at this temperature, while we achieving the boiling point, while we are near to the boiling point, there are high rates of evaporation. So this is a heating curve for water. The solid converts into a liquid and thus converts into a gaseous form. And we have take a look on the arrangement of particles present in solid state, liquid state, and thus in gaseous form. And we have seen how temperature affects the arrangement and motion of particles, and how these arrangement of and motion of particle affect the physical state of matter. In the same way, I have another example, that is icosane. Icosane is hydrocarbon substance which have high boiling point and high melting point. We will discuss its change of state from solid to liquid. So this is the graph we will draw here, and this is 0 Celsius temperature. Here we will take temperature and here we will take time. So the melting point of iocane is 37 Celsius, while the boiling point of iocane is 343 Celsius. So when iocane is present at 0 Celsius, they are present in solid form. As the temperature rises and reached at 37 Celsius, these solids start converting into a liquid form. Slowly with time, at same temperature, the whole solid iocane is converted into a liquid iocane, and then again, when they convert completely into a liquid form, the molecules or the particles again absorb energy and start converting into vapor form, and slowly at this specific temperature, whole liquid iocane convert into gaseous iocane. So this is the melting point and this is the boiling point. Here the solid is converted completely into a liquid form, and here the liquid is completely converted into gaseous form. Okay, I will address another theory. If you have any, I just want to clear it here, that why the graph is not moving at that specific point, but only when the state is being converting into another. So when the particles are at solid state, when we provide them with temperature or energy, the particles of solid absorb this temperature or this energy and start absorbing it and start converting it into another state. But why this is not shown in the graph? Because the changes in matter from converting into one state to another are very slow. Okay. So when we move from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 10 Celsius, and 10 to 20, and 20 to 30 Celsius, at all these times and all this temperature, the solid particles absorb this energy and slowly makes changes in themselves. So these slow changes accumulate, and at 37 Celsius, at exact point, the solid state of the particles start converting into liquid form. Before this temperature, there is no liquid form present, but only solid form. Just like in case of water, from minus 50 to 0 Celsius, at all this temperature, water is present in solid form. But when it hits 0 Celsius, it start converting into liquid form. So this horizontal bar shows that at all these time that this substance is converting slowly into a liquid form. So at this point, this substance is completely converted into liquid form. The temperature remains constant, while it takes time to convert one particle and 100 particles to liquid form. And again, at that time, energy is being provided to these substances continuously. So this energy is used in converting all the particles of substance into liquid form. So when all the substance is converted into a liquid form, now this energy is again used in converting the liquid particles into gaseous form. So as the particles move from liquid state to gaseous state, they are absorbing energy and break their attractive forces from other particles and move into the atmosphere. And hence, when they achieve 343 Celsius temperature, they are converting more at more rate from liquid state to gaseous form. And hence, at there's a time when all the liquid is converting into a gaseous form. This is 343 Celsius. And in the same way, where if we draw the particles, these are solid iocane, and they will convert into liquid form slowly as the temperature rises, and hence they are converting into a gaseous form with a increase in temperature. So this is the form when they are at solid, and this is the form when they are at liquid, and this is the arrangement of particles when they are in gaseous form. So this is the same thing here. This is the particle arrangement when it is present in solid form. This is the particle arrangement when they are present in liquid form, and this is the particle arrangement when they are present in gaseous form. So the next one is the cooling curve. The cooling curve is basically same as the heating curve, but it is just opposite of heating curve. Here we will study the process of gas converting into liquid and thus into a solid state. Hence, we know when a gas is converting into a liquid, energy is released. And when a liquid is converted into a solid, energy is also released. So this basically goes to a cooling side. When a gas is converted to a solid, this is a cooling state. The gas is at a heating state when it has high energy. When the particles have high energy, they are present in the gaseous form. When the particles have very low energy, they are at their cooling side. They're present in solid state. So let's discuss it. Same for ice. So in the start, the water is present in the gaseous form. At 100 Celsius, it starts condensing and converting into liquid. So after some time, then the whole steam is being converted into a liquid water. It again starts converting into its another state. Hence, at 0 Celsius, it starts freezing. And after some time, it completely converts into solid state. So the graph is in this form. Here, the water is present in the form of steam. Here, the water is present in the form of water. And here, the water is present in the form of ice. This is the gaseous form. This is the liquid form. And this is the solid form. So at 100 Celsius, from this point to this point, at all this time, the whole steam is converting into a liquid water form. So this is basically condensation occurring here. The gas is converted into liquid state. And for water, the condensation point is 100 Celsius. So after some time, water again starts converting into its other form, that is solid form. The particles present here start changing their arrangement, and hence when the zero temperature, 0 Celsius temperature arrives, we convert into solid state. This is the form, this is the time where the whole water is converted into ice solid form. So this is freezing point, and the freezing point of water is 0 Celsius. Here, the liquid water is converted into solid state. And after that, the solid state persists. So, what is the arrangement of particles? At this form, the particles are present very far apart. They have no forces of attraction. They are spaced very far apart from each other. And when 0 to 100 Celsius is arrive, these particles start coming towards each other. As the temperature starts decreasing, the kinetic energy of particles starts decreasing, and hence they are developing attractive forces between these particles, and they will slowly came near to each other, and thus in the form this form they develop attractive forces. They are near to each other, and they have the arrangement of particles that is vibratory or random movement. The particles can slide past each other. And when the temperature 0 Celsius is achieved, these particles will again move more closer to each other, and they have fixed position with no spacing. So this is how the particle arrangement and movement change when move from 100 Celsius to 0 Celsius, from gaseous water to a solid water, from steam to ice. So this is called a cooling curve. The water is moving from its gaseous form, that is above 100 Celsius, to its solid form, that is below 0 Celsius. And this is the same way, in the same way, we can discuss the example of ice and heating curve as well, where the particle arrangement has changed from 0 Celsius to 100 Celsius. There is solid, and at this point, solid liquid mixture persists. At this stage, the whole thing substance is converted into a liquid form, but at this point, the whole substance is converted into a solid. In this way, all the way from above to down, there exists a liquid state, but in this horizontal line, there exists a gaseous liquid mixture. Some substance is present in the form of gas, and some is present in the form of liquid. In the same way, in heating curve, we have solid liquid mixture here and liquid gas mixture here, while the vertical line shows the absolute form. Here the solid form exists, here the liquid form exists, and here the gaseous form exists. So let's move to the practice question portion. In this, we will practice our today's understanding from the lecture. The first question is, which takes more energy, melting ice or boiling water? Give evidence to support your answer. First of all, melting ice is basically the phenomena in which the solid particles become absorb heat and converts into liquid particles. While in boiling water, the liquid particles absorb heat and converts into gaseous particles. In melting, the bonds between molecules are broken, while in boiling, as the liquid converts into gaseous form, bonds between the atoms are broken. This is water molecules, and they are bonded together through hydrogen bonding with each other. This dotted line shows hydrogen bonding. So basically, in melting, when solid converts into liquid, the solid particles, that is molecule, this is one molecule, This is one particle, this is second particle, this is third particle. In melting, each molecule breaks its bond with other one and hence move freely. So basically during melting, these forces, these hydrogen bondings are break down. So less amount of energy is required. While in case of boiling point, when liquid converts into solid, in this case, each atom in the molecule starts breaking down from one another and hence escaping air. So in this case, when a liquid converts into a gas, these bonds between the atoms in the molecule that is being broken, so they require more amount of energy. So hence we can say that for answer, the exact answer is boiling water requires more energy as compared to melting water. This is basically because intermolecular forces, the breakage of intermolecular forces requires large amount of energy. So this is its exact answer. Now let's move to the next question, that is explain how you find out and melting and boiling point of substance from the heat curve like this graph. So this is a graph here. This is a curve that is being start from zero temperature, and then there is a horizontal line seen between B and C, while the other one C between D and E. So let's pause the video for 2 seconds and just answer it. Now I will narrate the answer and we will just check yours to just get some overview like if yours is true or not. So basically we have discussed in our lecture that these horizontal lines, basically these horizontal lines in graph represents phase change. At the point B and C, there is a phase change that is between solid and liquid. Solid is converted into liquid state. While at point D to C, there is a conversion of phase between liquid to gaseous form. So the melting point must be at this point, that is B. Melting point is the temperature at B, and that is 1500 Celsius, while boiling point is the temperature point D. Boiling point is at D and the temperature is 3000 Celsius. Hence, from this heating graph or heating curve, we deduce that the melting point is 1500 Celsius, while the boiling point is 3000 Celsius. So you can easily get the melting and boiling point from the graph, as these horizontal or these flat lines always teach us about the phase change. So first of all, there is always solid converts into liquid, and then the liquid converts into the gas. And the start of this flat line or horizontal line is always the point of melting or boiling point. Let's move to the next question. The next question is, dry ice sublimes into carbon dioxide gas at room temperature. The question is, explain what happens to the particles as dry ice sublimes. What is sublimation? First of all, pause this video and think and write your answers, then just tally it with mine. So first of all, think about what is sublimation. By definition, sublimation is basically the conversion of solid phase into gas phase directly. So this is the nature of carbon dioxide, that dry ice, that carbon dioxide is present in solid form, as we named it as dry ice, and it sublimes into carbon dioxide gas directly. So what happens to the particles? The particles change will be, dry ice is a solid carbon dioxide. So in this state, the particles are very near or close to each other. They have fixed position. Particles are very close to each other. They have fixed position, or they have ordered arrangement. The movement of particle is vibratory. There are no spaces between the particles. So these are basically the arrangement or movement of particle in solid state. While when the dry ice sublimes, it converts into a gaseous carbon dioxide, and in gaseous form, the particles are present in this stage. So the particle will have very large spaces between them. They move randomly in any direction. They have disordered arrangement. There are no attractive forces between particles. So this is the change that is happen when dry ice converts into gaseous carbon dioxide. So you will explain these changes very precisely in 2 to 3 lines. The next question is, explain why dry ice occupies less space than gaseous carbon dioxide. Again, pause the video for 2 minutes and think and write your answer, then tally it with mine. So dry ice is basically solid state of carbon dioxide, and gaseous carbon dioxide is the gas form. So in solid particles, as we have discussed in previous question, the particles have a very close space, like they are present in a very close proximity with each other. They have no space. They have no space. They are strongly attracted towards each other, while in gaseous form the particles are present very far apart from each other. They have large spaces between them. There is no attractive forces between them. So this arrangement and movement of particle clearly explains the why of this question: why dry ice occupies less space than carbon dioxide. As dry ice is a solid and gaseous carbon dioxide is a gas form, solids always occupy less space as compared to so dry ice occupies less space because it is solid and they have less volume as their particles are very close to each other with no spaces between them. While in case of gas, carbon dioxide, they require more space as their particle arrangement is very disordered with large spaces between them. So this is the answer how you would answer this question. So hope you will understand all the concepts of today's lecture. And if you have any query or anything, you should comment down and let me know your ideas about this series and about lecture. If you want me to address any specific topic, just mention it in the comments. And don't forget to like my video, subscribe my channel, and share it with others who are struggling or who are just preparing for their basic concepts and for their exams. Thanks for watching. Meet you in my next video.